Okay.
How did you acquire this piece that looks like Capodimonte but isn't? Aha, gotcha.
It was a neighbor who gave it to my grandmother, who the neighbor was Italian.
The neighbor was Italian because, speaking as an Italian, only the Italians allow this stuff into their houses. It's like really dramatic like the Italians. It's really flamboyant like the Italians. We're really fun too, but yeah. Like, it's a little garish.
It is.
Right? Capodimonte style.
Okay.
I'm Sports Illustrated swimsuit model style. I got all the same parts as those women, but I'm not a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. You, this piece, Capodimonte style, it's in the same form as the highly sculptural, applied ornamental, floral element. Each little element is a sculpture in itself. It's applied on top. Okay? So they make this bowl, this particular standing candy dish, right? They make it with all of these embossed areas around a mold.
Okay.
This flower's not there, this flower's not there, these 3 flowers and leaves are not there, right? So they make these pieces, they make this indentation so you know where the lid goes, and this is important because the lid has to fit. You're in that antique store and you see a teapot and you think it's great, and that lid just doesn't seem to fit right. They don't have the right lid. Leave the whole deal right there. Oh, Dr. Lori, I don't want to leave it. I love to go thrift store shopping. I know. But some things are not always correct. So move that lid around, make sure it really fits. This one really fits, right?
Yes.
If there is not an indentation, right, then there may not have ever been a lid. Lids have a place that they receive, a receptor. So if you saw this and there was no lid, you'd go, oh, there's something wrong because here's the receptor, but the lid's gone.
Okay.
You know it was missing. Then what they do after they make this molded out piece, right? They don't paint it yet. Imagine it all just beige. Then they take these little sculptural flowers. If there's some guy, think a cake boss. Think of those cake people, the people who are making cakes. And we're going to make flowers for that wonderful wedding cake. And they're sculpting out each individual flower. That's what they're doing. The same thing here. They're sculpting out each individual leaf. There's a leaf, there's a leaf, there's a leaf on the table. There's a flower petal on the table. And then once they get this back onto the piece of ceramic that's wet, they apply each leaf.
Okay.
With their little tweezers, they apply the leaf, they apply each particular petal of the flower. They actually build the decoration. It's called applied ornament. This is an ornament, right? They apply it on top. Then what happens is this piece of ceramic, earthenware ceramic, fired at a low temperature, goes back into the kiln. The whole thing is white. Then they paint it. Oh, look, we're going to make little red crisscross, yellow crisscross here. We're going to paint a little rose here. We're going to paint the rose here and the green leaves, blah, 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 right? Then it gets glazed over. The whole thing gets glazed like if you were to dip it into clear nail polish and then bump back into the kiln again, right? So this has to withstand many times in the kiln. It's fired at a low temperature, so it's not at, 1200 degrees, it's at a lower temperature. So it can withstand all of this.
Okay.
It's a beige color in terms of the clay. There's lots of impurities in the clay. That's why it's not bright white, rather it's somewhat beige. It's marked Italy right on it. It dates to about the 1920s. Value on it, about $95 to $100. And you don't know, Dr. Lori, $95 to $100 for that, all that description? Yeah, it takes a lot to make these pieces. But they're making them rather quickly as well. All the values I'm giving you today are retail values. That's the top of the market, so you know where to negotiate down from. Okay? If you were to say, what's the auction value? Assume that you will lose 50% if you sell at auction. Oh my gosh, Dr. Lori, 50%? Yes, 50%, because they take their percentages. They take money for advertising, they take money for photographing and putting it into a catalog, they take money, a percentage for storing it, for moving it, for tagging it, for all this stuff. So if you expect to sell at auction, right, you expect that from the retail value you will bring home about 50% of that value. Which is why it's good to get an appraisal from me and try to sell it yourself online. Market it correctly, or for those pieces that you love, keep it, right? But know what it is and know how to authenticate it.
So the
Questions? Yes?
I'm sorry, so the
No.
mark on the bottom that has a mark on.
That
on
number,
the leg.
it says 534530,
No, the little,
Italy.
no, the other little part that's on the, one of the little studs.
This
Is that a
one
mark?
looks like two,
Looks like a pie sign.
looks like a pi sign, yeah.
Is that a mark? Or
No,
is
it's
that
not a mark at all. That's basically when they were attaching these other things, the clay was wet, right? Or soft, and they actually had a tool that went by it.
Okay, is
Kind of
there a
like
way
you
that you
scraped
can tell?
yourself.
Is there a way you can tell the difference between that and what a real mark would be?
This is not an embossed mark. Most of these don't have an embossed mark.
Embossed.
A piece of Capodimonte with the big N mark for Naples and the crown does not have an embossed mark. Yet, a Hummel figurine does have an embossed mark. Those embossed marks are usually mold numbers. That's what these numbers are. The mold, the shape, the size. So everybody in the shop knows, oh, number 503, oh yeah, that's that 4-footed little candy dish with a lid, and then we put roses on the top and on the sides.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Just like the cake. We know it's the, white cake with the buttercream frosting. It's the same thing, so they can do it and replicate it over and over and over again. So they use a mold number.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Question?